Managing Director and former Ireland fullback Conor O'Shea, who's alongside Will Chignall.
Simply are on a roll. The confidence is high and they've had the dream start to their summer rugby and will be bouncing at the thought of a possible 2-0 series win over these men from France. Conversely, there is one last chance for the French to redeem themselves in what is, once more, a hostile environment, Conor.
Yeah, hostile environment, and they need some sort of boost building into the World Cup, but it's going to be a big game and a tough test in Buenos Aires.
The crowd will now expect a second win for the home side. The team, of course, be praying for one. Now, the Pumas can't hide under the plucky underdogs tag. They'll have to deal with the expectation that a victory is there, possibly for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the hidden joint or any of the sleeping joint anymore. They're a team that week in, week out, or month in, month out, provide shocks at international level. They've made a lot of changes for this week's game, but looking at them, they're probably, if not anything, they're stronger in their pack than they were last week. And Quesada there to kick the goals. This could be another, well, not shock anymore, is it?
Well, the Pumas have actually changed 8, and still, incredibly, they have over 750 caps worth of international rugby in the 22. Mendes, Martin, Quesada and Grau get a start amongst others. A staggering amount of experience.
Yeah, and probably the one matchup I'm looking for is Alvarez versus Tion, the two Perpignan second rows that made such a big impact. And on the French side, Emile Harry-Nordicki needs a big game, because he's talked the talk a lot of the time this year and is showing typical second season syndrome. He's under severe pressure from the likes of Magna and Betson when they come back, and Leby, who's been their, France's #1 player. When you looked at him in those anthems, Leby is up for this game, and I think the French will be up for this game.
Well, they'll be up for it because they will, of course, know that the 10-6 win last week was quite a dogfight. It may not have been pretty, but the win would have given the Pumas quite a lift psychologically.
Well, there's one man just looking in there, Juan Hernandez. Ignacio Corletto, one of the stars of Argentinian rugby. He came on in the match last week and proved a very able deputy, and again, we'll keep on harping, and just shows what depth they have now.
Your referee is Andrew Cole from Australia. And Steve Lander last week blew a lot of whistle, a lot of restarting of scrums. Let's hope for a fluid game today. The game started by Quesada, and the crowd cheer as the ball goes high. Time for both teams to settle. Jan de Leeg with his first strike for touch. Hernandez had a very composed debut last week coming off the bench. De Leeg again off that left foot, pushing Argentina deep and asking them to run it. Senelosa, little chip, all on the bounce of the ball, regathers. This is good for Argentina. Fernandez Miranda, Quesada, double miss pass, maybe a bit of width. Hernandez has to go back, and the ball is still good for the Pumas. They'll be happy to work their way through the phases. Arbizu high. The Pumas are good chasers of this sort of ball. Galtier, the captain, takes responsibility. France need a scrum half. And de Leeg to Lorga.
Yet again, a great start by Argentina to the game. Senelosa showing that he's not afraid to, try something from deep, a little chip ahead. It got a bit of momentum, and then Argentina, when they don't get it through the phases, they'll just step back, they'll kick the bomb, and they'll get stuck in. This is a typical way Argentina start, but yet again, a great start.
And the Argentinian line-out will be taken by Freddie Mendes. He won't have enjoyed cooling his boots on the bench last match. He feels his rightful place is in the centre of the action. And he hits his target. And a good rumble first up. Going to be some interesting subplots.
The ball come from the back.
Not least, of course, the grunt up front. Quesada looking for a runner and finding Orengo. Lovely little pass, and oh, that's wonderful stuff. Could be finished. The referee has a look. Hernandez looking for glory, and the decision has yet to be made. Hernandez thinks he's got it.
Well, I've no doubt he got that over, and that was, I think, Jose Orengo who managed to pop that ball up out of the tackle. Yet again, a bit like Poissek's try last week, a magnificent angle from the fullback, and I've no doubt that's a try. He's gone back straight to his position. You see the ball going from Quesada. Orengo hits a nice short ball, beautiful pop out of the tackle, fullback on the shoulder, steps to the last man, and I've no doubt the handoff, I think it's Jamin Traoré and Aurélien Rougier trying to get back, that he'll make this over in the try. France were denied a try last week by the video ref, but he's on the touch this week, and no doubt that's a try.
Yep, definite downward pressure, but you thought the Argentinians had got the bounce of the ball with the television match official last time. And the video ref is Andy Ireland from Scotland. He'll be looking at these pictures.
It's not even an issue. There wasn't an issue last week, and the French didn't get awarded the try. It isn't an issue this week, but the Argentinians will get awarded this. They're not going to deny that in Buenos Aires, or you wouldn't get out of Argentina.
French wait. Andrew Cole waits.
Slow down, Andy, I can't hear you.
Andy Ireland checking all the angles.
Well, I mean, I hope he's not looking at all these angles to try and decide, you know, which is it a try or not. That is a try, and he doesn't need to be looking at it from 10 different angles to decide that. Maybe he's giving Quesada the time to place the ball, knowing he's going to take his time.
There we have it. It is the dream start for the Pumas.
It's the dream start for the Pumas, but a terrible start for France. The one thing that you don't want is to give the opposition the bit between their teeth and something for the home crowd to get behind, and they've given it. Now Quesada taking the full minute.
Straight between the uprights. And as was the case last week, again, Argentina steam into a very early 7-0 lead.
Yeah, just Quesada, you know, going a bit laterally, but the good line by Orengo, and then a beautiful pop-up ball, and just a superb finish. The little handoff going back just to make sure he gets over the line. So a great finish, and to think that we were talking Corletto up to start with.
Well, Argentina are now talking about having more strength in depth, and they look as though they have two cracking 15s in their squad. Argentina 7, France yet to score. Deleg misses that, and Argentina will be all over the French, but this is an immediate chance for Les Bleus to put points on the board.
Just miles offside, and in the middle of the field there, Arbizu, and even on the next phase they were offside again. Now this time last week, Jan de Leeg had a couple of kicks in front of the post, missed them, and that was the starting point of a rock for France not being able to score. And this is a very, very important kick for this French team.
Jan de Leeg had to contend with the whistles and the noise from the crowd. Always takes his scrum cap off, so the noise will be crystal clear. No doubt he'll be trying to block all that out, but his two misses last week was the difference in the end. Delay for France. The flags are raised. Argentina 7, France 3.
Yeah, a nice kick to start from Jan de Leeg, and he needs that just to settle his team's nerves more than anything. And also the fact that he's under a lot of pressure this week with Michalak on the bench, and a lot of questions been raised about the way he ran the game last week for France.
Quesada looking for good hang time, and his forwards respond. Rolando Martin securing the ball back from injury. Such an experienced player, got 6 on his back today. And an immediate chance for Argentina to respond.
Well, just saying that the ruck was formed, they had their hands in after Revitt said let them go, so an easy kick for Quesada, and these are kicks he doesn't miss, so you know, a bit bitty, but a great kick off by Quesada, good chase, and I think it was Alvarez at second row who's been a star for Perpignan this year. At kick-off time the whole way through, and just showing his value there, getting the ball back for the Argentinians.
Well, Quesada is the second highest point scorer in the history of Argentinian rugby, just 19 behind the legendary Hugo Porter, who's on 432. He is a points machine. Plays for Béziers in France, so he'll know the players he's up against today. The crowd will tell you, the touch judges tell you, Argentina 10, France 3.
Just another look at the try here. It's a very normal target set. It's just a great line by their fullback. Hernandez, and a great finish. What more can you say about that? And they're beginning to produce outside backs that can match their forwards' ability to win them ball by scoring tries out of nothing.
Leby, who had such a fine game last week, was screaming through onto that, and he gets the put in for France. Good midfield position here.
We're looking for Galtier to do something on the short side with El Horga at fullback, and you know, the pack weights are pretty similarly matched, but the French scrum was the dominant scrum last week, and they'll be looking, maybe the Argentinians with Grau and Mendes coming back, to actually be able to hold their own in what's their holy grail, really.
Well, last week, Steve Lander, the referee, had to reset nearly every single scrum. It does take the heat and continuity out of the game, and Andrew Cole is having to do this already. Rugby, Galtier. Joison takes that line and Brou rumbles up. Rugby again, always looking for work. Galtier, Marchenet. Delay. Taken by Rougerie. Another penalty to France.
Well, again, it's for offside, and that's what they're going to do the whole time during this game. Just every time France get a bit of momentum, they'll stack the sides and they'll just make sure that France cannot get through to score. They don't mind giving away penalties because a lot of the time they're not going to be picked up, and it's difficult unless the referee clamps down on it early in this game. Argentina will do it the whole time. They'll play well with their own ball in hand, and they'll disrupt the opposition.
Well, Argentina will hope that Delay isn't on form. He has, of course, a 100% strike rate so far today, and he will be very keen to penalise the Pumas' indiscretion. Galtier already having a chat with the referee about various aspects. That's good enough. The French crowd celebrate, and Delay puts his scrum cap back on into the fray, and he has reduced the Argentinian lead to just 4. So Quesada will look to try and give his forwards another target. Nordicki takes 2 bites of that, but gets hold of it. France now trying to suck in the Pumas forwards, driving it infield a wee bit. Galtier. And that is a clean clearance from Try, and that does really give the French a good option, because he has a phenomenal boot on him.
Yeah, Damien Try is one of the biggest kickers of a ball, both from the ground and out of the hand in international rugby, and a nice option to have to take the pressure off Jan de Leeg most of the time.
Mendes overthrows, but it goes to Fernandez Miranda. Charge down, and this is an excellent chance for France, should they regather, but again, Hernandez looks to run. Sparky start from him, and Argentina looking to play with confidence. Driven up by Lobbe. Miranda looking for the half break and asking questions of this French defence. Arbizou, Rolanda Martin at the dark blue brick wall there. Good pick up from Marengo. Unloads so cleverly in the tackle. Ilorga goes back under a bit of pressure. And now a chance for Argentina to counter-attack through their skipper. That's lovely handling. Beautiful. And Marengo will score this one. France were caught flat-footed. Argentina are on fire.
Well, a terrible mistake by Elorga at full-back. When his team were completely under pressure, he sliced the ball into the middle. I think it was Miranda picked it up, fed his skipper, Arbisu, and the try from there. So this is, well, further back in the play. A block down by Lebi, picked up by Hernandez at full-back, and he really has started the game. Ignacio Carleto, we talk about, is one of the best counter-attacking full-backs. This kid has come on last week and this week and just shown they've got two full-backs who can ignite any sort of match. But it was some great play, then a terrible clearance by Elorga, beautifully caught, moved the pointed ball straight away to someone who can run onto it, and well, Lisandro Arbisu just showing the amount of experience he has, takes the short ball, knows everything that's going around him, plays the ball out of the tackle, and a dream start.
Well, France now know to their costs that they cannot kick badly to this Argentinian side. Quesada misses that one, but they will be really bouncing now.
Yeah, they'll be bouncing, and there may be a few question marks opening forward, but the last pass from Arbisu to Orengo been slightly forward, but you can't deny from the way they're playing. Maybe momentum kept that from going forward, but the way they're trying to play when they get the ball, always looking to counter-attack, it has to be rewarded, and it's great to watch. It's great rugby.
The first instinct was to run. Arbisu to Orengo, that's class. So Argentina continuing to ask questions of the French, and in the early point of this game the visitors have no answers.
Well, that's just a very simple penalty against Roberto Graham. Makes the tackle, flops in on the far side, and then tries to play the ball back in his hands. And this is, for all the good play with the ball in hand, for all the solid platform that they give to their pack, they give away consistently too many penalties. And it's the one area of discipline that I presume Marcelo Lafredo, their coach, will always be on at them, because they've kept France in the game. They've scored tries, France have kicked off, penalty each time, and it's going to be a score in the game after this kick.
It'll be frustrating for Argentina because they are, as you say, giving France a sniff. Each time they score their try, delay comes back, and he has another shot at the target now. Off the woodwork, Fernandez Miranda blocked that well, but would have been greedy for a few more metres on that clearance.
Well, for the cynical, the Argentinians will be quite happy they got away with it, and they'll say we're still 9 points up and we stopped France from playing. But these are kicks in international rugby at any level of top level rugby you cannot afford. You actually see him come off the ball and nearly stab it and chip it, and it just doesn't have the follow through that you see with the Johnny Wilkinson.
Lebi. Galtier looking for his runners, and now France are beginning to squeeze the Pumas. Lebi again, he's getting through a lot of work early in this match. He is one of the former French players, but turnover. Albanese always looking at his options, and there could be a counter on here. Hernandez goes to ground, Rolando Martin. And this is the sort of rugby that Argentina traditionally haven't played, looking to run out of their 22. That seems to be their first thought, and then maybe kick the touch if the options are closed down.
Exactly, the first thought is run. It's great to see. Traditionally, this power base with a 10 that kicks, they have the 10 that can kick, but they've got the people around them that have got the instinct to run now, and it's adding to a great little mix and a team that could cause some damage in this World Cup if they keep on going.
Well, both coaches see this as a warm-up to the World Cup, to find out about their players, to finalise their squad. Chabal, the man to take the ball into contact and get the penalty again for France. Argentina still leaking penalties.
Chabal just taking the ball, a scrappy line at the French line that hasn't functioned quite as well, but a big hit by the French, and you can see the ruck is formed, the player is going in, trying to get it when the ruck is formed. So another simple penalty against them. It'll be interesting to see can Deleg actually get this, but they've moved over to kicking and now giving it to try, probably just to the distance rather than anything else.
Well, this was the fourth penalty that Argentina have conceded, all in kickable positions. Damien Try now hit a beautiful 47-48 metre strike last match. Shouldn't struggle with the distance. He hits a very clean ball.
You often wonder, even though he is their long-range kicker, why, when they're not so confident in Deleg as a kicker, they don't entrust the whole kicking game to him, because he is a magnificent striker of a rugby ball.
Well, Argentina might use to look at their bench later on in the game. Fernandez Miranda, who is playing because Augustin Pichot is still out injured, and he's making a good fist of it.
He is making a good fist of it, but, you know, a very, very stupid indiscretion there by the Argentinians. And in fact, they've been ahead of both kicks, the last couple of kicks they've put in place, and it's only now the ref has pulled them up in a good attacking position, even though it's on halfway for France.
Free kick, the referee's getting frustrated. Who's the man to take it up? Labi. Brou. Over the gain line. Galtier keeping the back row honest. Deleg mixing it up. That was well read from Senalosa. Quesada, safe.
Safe, slow and deliberate. That's his style, and that's probably why France have blocked him down once and will probably be targeting to block him down many more times tonight. But a beautiful striker of a rugby ball when given that time.
Well, 6 of those French substitutes were playing last week, and whether it be paying the price for the loss or changes that were going to happen anyway, Laporte is having quite a look at different players. Try, Deleg, Claire, first time he's got his hands on the ball. Deleg unloads. This is a cleaner ball for France. And there's some space here. Harinordaki working his way inside. Argentina will be keen to slow this one down. Galtier digs again.
Well, the referee giving it against the French for holding on, but I think when you see that ball again going through the phases, when France come back, the Argentinian players have made no effort to get back on side, and they're actually meeting the tackler well behind the French gain line, or the gain line on the pitch. And I just think it's what they do. We all know it. It's good defence in the end, and it's a good steal, but probably France hard done by.
And France were finding the wide open spaces that they couldn't find last week. Unusually for a French team, for all the 80% plus territory that they enjoyed, they couldn't break down the Argentinian line, and they're looking much better here, Connor.
Yeah, certainly just to use the width, and Harinordaki staying out in the wing to provide that extra man.
Half backs working well in tandem. Quesada, such an assured player. And Lafreda, the coach, has quite an interesting choice at 10, whether he chooses to go with Contepomi or Quesada.
Yeah, he's an interesting choice in many positions. Contemponi is more the flair player. Quesada the easy option, I suppose.
Referee Cole has seen a small knock on. So Marconnet, Brou and de Villiers for France up against Grau, Mendes and Scelzo. Phelan looks as though he's come on. Penalty Argentina.
Well, that's a penalty on the bind of the scrum. I mean, there are so many different infringements that can be taken on any scrum, and that looked like the French tried to whip it around anyway. Surprising Quesada isn't actually going for goal. He has the distance, but maybe they're fancying their chances up front to take a ball and drive it a little bit.
Fine strike from Quesada. Taken into the base. Roberto Grau sets up the platform, and this is much better from Argentina. Just a few metres short now. Quick ball wanted. Great chance for Argentina. Quesada on the loop. Albanese running out of room. Fernandez Miranda. Rolando Martin leaves it. Martin to Quesada with a drop goal.
Well, just touched in flight and obviously missed, so it's a 5-yard scrum. And who's to say? I thought they'd take it down and drive. They took it off the top, Grau around, peeling around the back, and then just kept the ball going, phase after phase. Quesada steps into the pocket. Rougerie just gets a fingernail to that, and it's a 5-yard scrum. And the Argentinian scrum has been strong, and I fancy their chances at this.
Well, they have great pride in this dark art, and France through de Villiers, who has 3 on his back, really do have quite some grunt as well.
Yeah, they do, and they have they probably were the superior scrum last week, but just the initial few scrums in this match seems the reintroduction of the real scrummaging hooker in Freddie Mendes seems to have added a bit of bite. And Roberto Grau has been around a long time playing test match rugby. They know the way around this world, and they seem to have added a little bit to this Argentinian scrum, so a great position for Argentina here.
The backs playing with confidence in the congested areas as well.
Yeah, they are, but Quesada is very lateral. He doesn't really attack to get like Contemponi, and probably you'd have found that there was some room there for Quesada if you look at it to have a go himself. He didn't, but that's the nature of him. He's looking for the people outside him to make magic.
So Argentina looking to extend their lead. 15-9 the score at the moment. Driven off the base from Longo. And again, the runners are piling up for Argentina. France are stretched here, and Argentina sense this could be a good time to strike. Quesada looking to go himself, dropped by Alorga. Scelzo, pile driving run from him. Fernandez Miranda, Quesada. Fernandez had no space in which to work his dancing feet there. Miranda organising the options. Arbizou!
I think the skipper knowing exactly what to do there, Will. They'd taken the ball, they'd held it, they'd have good chances to score some tries. Their forwards are battered, and then Arbizou, well, showing all the experience that he has in the world to step back in the pocket and put them more than the score ahead. It's a very, very important score, even early on in the game.
That was a very well worked 3 points from Argentina. And just as France seem to think they're getting back into this game, Argentina have the answers. The skipper knows it, the skipper enjoys it.
Well, Jan de Leeg going on and Frederick Michalak, and he'll just add something a little bit different. The width he'll get on his passing, yes, it's an injury to de Leeg and an unfortunate one, but I don't think for this French team the worst too bad a thing has happened here, and I think Michalak will make a big difference to this side.
So this is the first time that Michalak gets pitch time on the tour.
Oh, kiss of death there, Will.
Rusty. Well, Michalak plays scrum half and fly half. He is one of the 4 French fly halves that Laporte has tried in the last 7 matches. So still some question marks over the 10 shirt, still to be answered.
Question marks, yes, but I think the man who's out in the pitch is everyone's favourite to take this French team forward, and the man everyone wants to see.
Well, we're going to get a chance now, because it looks like it's Jan de Leeg's injury that will enable Michalak to get a good run now. Another reset.
Bring it closer, crowd. Use it. Out.
Phelan working his way in the maul, but there's a counter drive from France trying to make it difficult for Mirandez to get the ball away.
Well, penalty against Gaultier for coming from behind, or not behind the hindmost foot of the ruck when the ball squirted out and managing to get his hand on Miranda. It'll be it's within kicking distance again, but the way Argentina are playing, they're going to kick for the corner, trust their line it, and trust their continuity.
Quesada, the thoroughbred striker of the ball, makes no mistake.
He really is a special striker for rugby ball. You shouldn't get too excited about these lovely arts, Will, but it's beautiful when you see it done like that.
Here's another art, slightly different but equally important. Mendez to the tail, overthrows. Leby really got a steam up there. Aaron Nordicky picked that up after the knock on.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be disappointed having kicked for the corner, and for the second time when they got into that position they threw the tail of the line, which is a more difficult ball. It's the best sort of ball, but you think maybe they'd have done something different than gone off the top and actually taken them on, because they can drive well with this pack.
But still Argentina have possession, they have the set piece. Will he be rejoicing tonight? Argentina 18, France 9. It's looking ominous for France at the moment.
And an unstable scrum, free kick. Leby taking it forward.
Leby is ravenous for the ball. He can't get enough. Michalak. Try.
Go forward, leave it.
Gaultier. Michalak. De Villiers. Enjoying having the French shirt on his back after his troubles. France looking to work their way upfield, turnover. Argentina making it difficult for the French to get the ball away. It's pretty scrappy. Penalty.
There had to be hands on the floor there. Senalosa was lying on top of the ball, and the French managed to get it back on their side when it seemed easily coming out on the Argentinian side. So probably a pretty simple penalty for the referee to give. And now we're just going to have another beautiful kick from Quesada.
But Michalak is looking sparky.
Yeah, he just adds something a little bit different to the game. He attacks the gain line a little bit better, brings the people in outside, and has a beautiful width to his pass. So there will be tries in the game with Michalak playing there for the French, and we just have to see as the game develops.
Over half an hour gone now, and from 1 to 22, the Pumas will be pleased the way things are going at the moment. Roberto Grau had a spell at Saracens, with him, Freddie Mendes and Scelzo, they really are a pretty uncompromising first line of defence or attack. Just about straight enough, says the referee. Now the Pumas through Quesada, inside to Rolando Martin from Marengo. Quick ball, Arbizu. Albanese, well picked up from Ilorga. Quesada takes his time. Straight down the throat of the French captain. Galtier scragged. Michalak playing scrum half to Ilorga, who looks for the open spaces, pinning Argentina back in their 22.
Sensible play there, because they were down their captain. Michalak had to go into scrum half to get the ball and feed Ilorga, and beautifully played out. This is just, you know, the Argentinians getting the ball wide. Albanese kicking the ball through Ilorga does the only thing he can do. There was nothing, no other option for him. He's under pressure, but to play well, given a chance to take over from Pochino, who's one of the stars of French rugby.
Fernandez Miranda winning his 27th cap. Held his own versus Galtier last week, and hoping that his forwards can present the ball on a plate for him this time round as well.
I think Pac will be very upset with that. A terrible kick. Alvarez, good line out take, good platform. They could have set it back to Quesada, who could have kicked it 40-50 yards. They were probably looking for a box kick to keep it in play. On the ball out in 22, French ball, and a good attacking platform from the French.
Well, the more Argentina win, the more the crowds will flock to watch the Pumas play. And everyone will know there's a battle on today, and the French will be keen for victory, but they can't get these passes right, they can't go through the phases, and Argentina are given another chance to try and clear their lines.
Yeah, they created the spaces out, you know, a good wraparound by Michalak, ball back in behind Rougerie, and Ilorga just takes his eye off of what was a very simple pop-up pass and a scrum, so that, you know, the French will be disappointed. You see Rougerie, Ilorga comes in a short ball, there was the gap there, takes his eye off the ball, pure and simple.
Scelzo on this near side. Fernandez Miranda. Don't know what advice he can give his front row.
Push.
Is that what the advice you give?
Well, I think that's all I can give. They'd hit me other than that.
Leby is in the wars, but he is the back row man so far that has got his hands on the ball. France tried to get the turnover, tried to push it through 180, but the ball comes back to Quesada.
It's just a little bit of pressure. He is deliberate, he is slow, great striker of the ball, but playing in France, he's well known, and the French are putting definite pressure on him to try and force that little bit of force that slice, and, you know, retain or get a good platform for themselves.
France will be very keen to try and eat into this Argentinian lead as we work our way towards half-time. Argentina 18, France 9. Galtier urges his forwards towards the Argentinian try line. Brou to Galtier. Michalak. Joison thumps his way upfield. The Pumas all over the ball carrier, desperate to slow it down. Michalak gets himself into a bit of a pickle, and Scelzo eats him up.
Let it go. Let it go. Ball down.
Ball is out, says the referee, and it could yet work for France. Ilorga, little chip, possibly blocked. Abazou makes sure it goes dead, because Rougerie so nearly scored from a chip through last week.
So nearly from a chip through, never was going to be done. I think the referee having a little chat here to see was Ilorga taken out late. It wouldn't have made any difference to have been a try or not, because the kick was too far, so maybe a little bit of play acting. But again, Argentina, well, we see it here, Josian puts the ball wide, Ilorga gets it, there is a little bit of space in behind, but they have it well covered, and it's not hit late, but probably knew he'd kicked it too far.
So Hernandez, the man to keep his shoulder in the way of Ilorga.
So what you're saying is, over there at the ball?
This is the interesting thing, that you know, you have Longo holding on to Galtier on the ground, not allowing him to get back into play, so the French don't have the quick. And now the referee looking at, I think it's going to be against Martin Celso.
Number 3.
It's getting a little bit niggly, and Andrew Cole will be very keen to snuff this out as early as possible.
Did you get a number? No number. No number. Okay.
Well, Steve Lander coming in there. This is firstly going to be a penalty against Martin Scelzo for a swinging arm or a punch, and whether Steve Lander's going to try and reverse it, we'll have to wait and see.
Number 3. 3.
That was Scelzo on Galtier, and this is now Andrew Cole.
The last infringement was over there for holder after the player had kicked. This is the first infringement. Okay. Was a punch. Well, okay. Over there at the mall on the touch judge report. Okay. We're going a yellow card. We're not having any. No kick. Yellow card. For a punch.
It's 10 minutes in the cooler for Scelzo, and Argentina are down to 14 men. Scelzo picked up by the touch judge for punching.
Well, not something that we were able to see. We certainly saw him hitting Galtier and holding on to him a little bit, but we didn't see the punch, and it was obviously an off-the-ball incident that only the touch judge can see. Ian Ravage maybe trying to make amends for the not allowing the try last week to Rougerie.
Oh, you cynic. But it does mean that France have a very important period in front of them, maybe a minute or so of this off, and have a gilt-edged chance at the start of the second 40 to try and nullify this Argentinian lead.
I think you'll be seeing a lot of Argentinian injuries in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
But Try is not the man that has been asked to kick for posts. Michelin. Straight between the uprights, on and off the pitch, the French celebrate.
There you can see just the Scelzo going in and definitely punching straight in, and it was a penalty. It was a yellow card. Can't have that sort of play.
So this is an important moment in the match, the next 10 or so minutes, at the end of this half and the beginning of the next. Argentina down to 14 men. Galtier. Pumas 18, France 12. Michelin gives that a heck of a thump. Reply by Juan Hernandez. Not good enough.
Yeah, they'll just be disappointed because they'll want to just kill the game to half-time, not give France any more opportunities, and they've given them another opportunity. Line out in their own half, and France are definitely going to try and get into this Argentinian lead.
Reggiado is stretching off. Should Argentina need a prop for a scrum? At the moment, though, they're fighting for the ball on the floor and winning as well. Grau inside to Albanese.
Tackler not rolling away. The French probably been caught up in the Argentinian ill-discipline. These are two, well, the Latin temperament of both sides coming out, and well, whether they just go for the corner, go for half-time, or will they go for a long-range kick if it's the last kick of the half?
4 minutes into injury time now. Arbizu just checks with Andrew Cole how long is left. Quesada pushes that one upfield.
Well, very similar to last week's game, where it started like a house on fire. Argentina got an early try. We're expecting a classic like last year's, and it's just become bitty the whole way. And, you know, this game taking a pretty similar pattern.
Everything is being contested for in every area of this match. Penalty, and maybe Argentina can sneak 3 more points before the break.
I think the ref is going to have a word that the next player is going to go, because that's, you know, not rolling away. He says twice. I think it's been a lot more than that in this half from the French as much as the Argentinians. And Laporte will be furious with this side. To give away a penalty when they're brought back to 6 points, they're a man advantage, they're just going into half-time. You know, they've probably played 5 minutes of the sin bin at this stage, and Quesada doesn't miss these kicks.
Well, we saw last week that sin binnings didn't necessarily reflect in points for the side that have 15 men. When England played New Zealand, and Argentina will be very keen to buck the trend again.
Do we have to hear about the England win again?
Well, it's just a case in point. Quesada, with possibly the final strike of the first 40. Bang on target, half time. Argentina 21, France 12.
We're bringing you 3 tests today. You'll have a few hours to catch up on a bit of sleep before the action begins again. Right now, we're in the Vélez Sarsfield Stadium in Buenos Aires. Argentina are leading France 21-12 at half-time. Let's hand you back to the Sky Sports commentary team, Conor O'Shea and Will Chignall.
Well, it's a very useful 9-point lead the Pumas have. Still, they're down to 14 men, but they are proving that they are becoming heavy hitters in World Rugby. As for France, well, Laporte would have had a few words in the break, but will it make a difference?
Well, it needs to, because they'll be desperate for a win. They haven't won on their travels for quite a long time. They're travelling to New Zealand for their next test match, and, you know, whatever you say about France not needing confidence going into a World Cup because they can turn it on at any stage and all that, they need to win, and they need to do something to prove to themselves more than their public that they can do this.
So a very important second 40 minutes for both teams. Argentina travel to South Africa for one test match next Saturday, and on this showing, South Africa will see them as a very dangerous prospect.
Not just South Africa, there's plenty of sides in the world, and speaking with my Irish hat on, looking ahead to the World Cup, that's going to be one hell of a pool match.
Argentina, of course, opening the World Cup on October the 10th against Australia. They have Namibia, Ireland, as you mentioned, and Romania in their group. France, well, finalists in '99, they have Fiji, Japan, Scotland and the US. It must seem a long way off. The second half starts, and Argentina still, of course, have 14 men. But there was 5 or so minutes of injury time in the first half, so they haven't got long until they have a full complement of players. Galtier, Joisian, straight through a hole, carving up Argentina. Rugby, as ever, on the shoulder of the runner. And this is a much better start from France. Michelin, little inside flip, that was very smart, and it's going to be a try for Joisian. That's class.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the forwards been off. That's the backs making it happen. Joisian, a superb line, firstly to set the whole move up, gave an inside pass to Labi to keep it going, and then gets up and starts supporting. Here you just see it. Michalak getting the ball, a nice little quick pass to Jose, and hits a beautiful line straight through the middle, looking around, looking for his fullback. Where is he on his shoulder? Nobody. Who's there? Christian Leby, the man who's always there, the workhorse of this French side. Then quick ball, Argentina not being able to slow it down. They know exactly where it is. Again, Michalak, beautiful little inside flip. Josion, good work rate, good score.
There's a wonderful little delayed pass from the replacement fly half. He now has a chance to make 7 points. Can he bring it round? He can.
We said he can add something a little bit different to this French side, and the players around him seem to just get that little extra buzz. They feel something's going to happen with this man, and well, it's a real game on now, and hopefully we will get the classic we're looking for.
The opening minute and a half has totally changed the complexion of this match. And now we will see how Argentina can respond.
Well, I thought defences were supposed to be strong and up for it in the opening of halves, but both matches, or both of these halves, have started with great tries when everyone seems to be really nearly 2 up, looking for big smashes, and holes are there.
The line out taken. And France have come over without the likes of Betson, Magna, Pelouse, Bruse, Krenker and Ibanez. So quite a few aren't on the tour. Try, who is a regular, sits in midfield.
Yes, well, here's the try again, and as you say, beautiful delayed pass by Michalak, little inside flip, the defence taken out, and the man appearing from nowhere to score the try. And it's beautiful when you see France play like that. You say, why can't they play like that all the time?
The ball comes back, flat to Arbizu, creating a focal point for clean ball. Grau, great bear of a man. Delayed run there, but France saw that through Rougerie. Michalak, frustrated.
He got the time in a beautiful position to get a nice raking touch kick, but again, it's just pressure. The Argentinians really flying through to try and put pressure on the kicker, and that's what creates the slice. It's not just poor kicking, it's great pressure from the Argentinian side.
Well, France know, World Rugby knows that Argentina will always harry and irritate the opposition in every way possible to try and put them off their game. They're very smart operators. Fernandez Miranda, Quesada, Arbizu. Huge dump tackle there on Albanese. But the ball comes back crucially. Well, was that a bit of a Hollywood?
That was a definite Hollywood. Look, he's straight back up. He's going to have to stay down to save his own face.
Try to Michalak. Joison, the try scorer. Big thumping runner. Takes 2 to bring him down. France are looking a little bit better. A little bit more fluent. Claire. Landa Martin grapples him to the floor. Knock on though.
Knock on in the first scrum, and Scalzo hasn't even missed a scrum. 10 minutes of the sin bin, he seems to be coming back on. Reggiardo is going to be able to put the tracksuit back on, but here you see too easily read, because they went backwards. They never attacked the gain line, and really setting up Albanese to be absolutely minced there by Frédéric Michalak. Well, nice Hollywood, but we are in the land of football.
Well, credit to Andrew Cole. He wasn't suckered by that. Arbizu to Quesada, playing the percentages. Now Lorgan. Not convincing. Scalzo back on. He's had an extended breather, and he's rolled straight into touch.
Well, disappointed there, I'd say, not to keep that ball in hand, but El Horga, this is his chance. Poitrino is the coming man of French rugby, the real star, and he just hasn't really looked the part tonight and given confidence to the guys in front. At least they were able to get something back by pushing Skelton, probably a little bit cold off the bench.
Brew hits Oradu. Galtier, as ever, in the thick of it, as is Leby, who has been phenomenal tonight. De Villiers. Galtier. Michelak. The ball comes back very firmly the Argentinian way. And there's a lot of space on that turnover ball.
Beautiful play by Hernandez there. You know, Argentinians play it very smart. When they can run, they really give it a crack. When they know they're under pressure, they'll just play the percentages, get it down there and attack the phases from there. And it's very, very smart, intelligent play. Good thing for France is they're beginning to get a hold of the ball. They're beginning to look like they're threatening. So they'll want to start, bringing this home, not let Argentina score and get another bit between their teeth.
Taken by Haranordaki, who will be looking for a big second half. Galtier to Michelak. Argentina leaking a few penalties.
Well, it's leaking a penalty from an offside, probably just a little bit too keen to get to the kicker, and well, it's the right decision to give this will be a French line and hopefully in the Argentinian half, except when you kick like that.
Well, Jan de Leeg, who went off injured, is a very smooth striker of a ball, and Michelak is a fine player, but we all want to give his forwards a few more metres from the kicking. Try, looks up, Quesada puts his shoulder to the wheel.
Again, it's the penalty, the rugby form, the player not getting his hands out, and it just stops the game. It's another penalty and becomes fractious. So what do you do? He's sin bin one Argentinian. Will he seek the wrath of the crowd by sin bin in a second?
Well, they're noisy, they're feisty, this crowd, but they have gone a little quiet after this very good French start to the second half. Galtier, as ever, right in the thick of it. Quite an interesting head-to-head between Fernandez, Miranda and Galtier. Many people are looking forward to seeing Pichot against Galtier. Not to be. Loision, Galtier, Brew, Oradu, Michelak mixing it up. Difficult for Hernandez, and France are right onto him. Clever little kick, and Argentina are in trouble. They get it away just, but France are looking a little bit better now.
They're looking better, and Michelak, is mixing up the game a bit. He's running, he's darting himself, he's kicking the ball in behind, and Hernandez actually did brilliantly there. Slipped just as he was gathering the ball and still managed to get it back. But it's just asking different questions. Yes, he's not the percentage playmaker there that a lot of teams would want, but for France and the way they try and play and with their flair, to me he's the guy I'd go for.
Just looks as though he could ignite something a little bit special.
Well, they've got the ability and the players and the flair outside, so they just need someone who can do that. And he showed for Toulouse that he can control a game beautifully from fly half. He's a young guy, and at some stage Bernard Laporte can't go one fly half after the next, changing match for match, because it gives the team no stability. He's got the summer, a build up to the World Cup. Well, we're not Laporte, but I don't know. I think yourself and myself, Chiggers, we'd go for Michelak.
Well, they have, of course, left Gelez and Merceron at home. So there are options for Laporte. Also injured over the summer are Yashvili, Marsh, Brusque and Garbajosa. Looking to try and maybe carry on is Juan Hernandez. Took a bit of a thump there in saving that ball from French possession. It looks as though it's the end of his evening's work, and he looks a bright prospect.
He does, and you know, this is we said last week when Colin went off that they'd struggle without him. Hernandez has come on, done a great job, and now we'll probably see Stortoni coming on and doing another great job, because the Argentinians, we keep on saying, have players coming through the ranks, which is great to see for World Rugby and for Argentinian rugby.
Taken by Hernandez in the middle. Galtier, Michalak, try! Just couldn't keep his footing, but this is still excellent chance for France. Leby drives on. The referee has a very good look.
Well, Damien tried just tap tackled enough that it brought him down. Leby there on hand. He thinks he's got it. It looked like, well, was it his momentum that will get him turned, because he seemed to have his back turned as he was going over the line. Did he have to struggle to get it down? We'll see now. Damien tried just through, just a bootlace been grabbed, and Roland Martin going back to try and finish the job off. Picked up, fed on by Leby. There's the mismatch you want. Miranda against Leby. I don't think anyone can give that try.
Well, the television match official Andy Ireland is having a busy evening's work.
Well, we're in a very similar position last week when France were on top in the game. It went to the video ref, and Rougeries' try wasn't allowed. That was a try, and it was very clearly a try. This week, I don't think there's any angle so far that we can see that it was a try, and if anything, Leby's been turned on his back as he goes over the line.
Well, this is a seminal moment in the match. This decision could be crucial.
Yeah, well, this is probably the best angle we're going to get at this, to see does he ground the ball, but he just starts beginning to get turned with the momentum. And last week we could have said it was definitely a try. It wasn't given. This week they can't give that try, so they probably will.
Well, all the angles being shown and shown again. It's under the posts. It's a 7-point decision.
The only decision I think this can be, unless we're wildly wrong here when we look at it, is a 5-yard scrum for ball being held up, because there's no way you can see who puts that ball over.
Well, Leby certainly deserves something out of this match. He has been quite phenomenal
the whole way through this year, and the real, probably not the flair that Harry Nordicke has with his handling ability, but just someone who gives 100% the whole time, and then that's the right decision. Scrum 5 to France. They may still score because it's a great platform.
Bang on, Connor. 5-metre scrum. Argentina 21, France 19. Final words of encouragement. Contepomi is on, Arbizu is off. Contepomi's played 12 with Quesada at 10 before for Argentina. Last year in the 28-27 win, actually.
That'll make a big difference to their defensive pattern, because Arbizu, well, both attacking and defensive, he sets their targets and he marshals their defence. You have 2 fly halves in there. They always say you target fly halves. I think more and more France will be able to get through that channel, and Michalak will certainly identify it as a weakness now.
And the 2 French centres are very much specialists in destruction rather than creation in Joison and Try, so they could well thump their way up the middle as the captain leaves the pitch. Big chance, big position now for Les Bleus. France want to get this platform right. They get the penalty. It's a dead cert 3 points. Galtier makes his decision.
And the right decision. You think de Villiers there just having a little word with his opposite number. just to say, bind on me, bind it. That just the usual goal that they have in the front row. But 20, I think France would have taken this at half-time. They'll go into the lead now, and it's been a very, very good first 15 to this half.
Michalak is straight in front, and he takes France into the lead in this match for the first time. The crowd are a little bit quieter. We have a game that could go right to the wire here. Argentina 21, France 22, just a point the difference. Beautifully taken by Haranordaki, who is such a fine footballer. France using a lot in the line out. The restart was impeccable there for him. Try. He gives it a heck of a thump.
What a beautiful option to have, and exactly what Bernard Laporte would have wanted. 22-21, they get the lead for the first time, nearly the first time in 2 test matches, and they get the ball, retain it back into the Argentinian half. It's now Argentina that have to start playing, and France can start looking at
protection run and getting somebody out as he's challenging the ball back here on the 10-metre line.
On the 10-metre line?
Yes, just a penalty.
Yep, just
blue number 4, obstruction.
How far in? Sorry?
Well, I was just saying that Bernard Laporte will be happy with the way obstruction are taken out at the kick-off, and a penalty. This could put Argentina back in the lead. It just infuriates any coach to see that happening. David Aridu won't be the most popular man with Bernard Laporte at the moment.
Quesada eyes up his target, and you will fancy his chances. The momentum, the points are swinging one way and then the other. So no sooner had France scraped their way into the lead, now Quesada has a chance to put Argentina back in front. It's a very deliberate style. With a very deliberate result.
And that just gets the crowd back into the game straight away. They've gone silent. Argentina were leaking points, not getting, and a stupid penalty given away by the French second row. And, well, you wouldn't put out your money on many other people. And another silly mistake. I mean, Michalak, we're talking him up, but he isn't the percentage player to do it. This is just a previous attack now, and see Hernandez, trying to clear up.
Well, it is going from one end to the other here. Argentina desperately trying to clear their lines, and Hernandez paying the price, but concentration levels are wavering from the point of view of Michalak, and Argentina now on the halfway. Penalty.
It's against on the far side of the scrum, just coming in. Silvio Marcanet. This will be kicked again. Without doing anything, Argentina have been gifted probably what will be 6 points, and Bernard Laporte will be sitting down saying, "This is why we cannot win Test match rugby away from home."
To put this into context, France have not won on tour for over 2 years now. Going to Australia in the World Cup, the signs are not good. "20 minutes into this second half, you won't like the look of this either. Laporte's France can only watch as Quesada strikes for goal. escape. Just.
Unusual to see that man miss a kick, but it was a good strike. It was a kick from the halfway. Always difficult, but he'd be disappointed.
Well, France now kick that long. Stortoni, little chip and chase. And that worked well. Michalak had no option but to push that one into touch.
Yeah, just playing the percentages. Come on, he's fresh on, hasn't touched the ball very much, does the very basic thing, puts the high ball up. Great chase, Albanese and Stortoni take Michalak man and ball and managed to get him straight into touch.
Aaron Nordicke, who's getting through quite a lot of work in the line out. Again, as you said, Argentina putting the kicker under pressure.
Yeah, putting them under pressure. Argentina will be happy. They lost their line out there. A steal by Harry Nordicke at the back. Slice kick by Michalak, and they're back to square one. Back where we started.
Beautiful line out throw from Mendes. And now Argentina try to get their juggernaut rolling. Quesada with the drop goal. Elorga takes and thumps that one upfield quickly. Stortoni.
Well, Elorga again, makes the mark, takes it quickly, and instead of actually settling things down for his team, slices the ball massively into the midfield. Here's the attempted drop goal by Quesada, which is marked. He had time, again a deliberate build-up, but badly struck, and it was a good opportunity for him.
Well, if Elorga couldn't hit his touch, Damien Traoré certainly can. He has been rock solid in every aspect of his play, not just last week, but this week as well.
Yeah, one of the true players within their team that they can rely and build upon the whole time. He's an ever-present there now, but you can see why he never plays badly.
Phelan picks up the line out. Scalzo played 10 minutes less than everybody else. Of course, has been sin bin. Turnover, illegal turnover.
Terrible decision there. We'll have to look at that again. He goes in with the ball, Scalzo loses it forward, and that's what takes it as it's handled back. I think a terrible decision. Maybe we'll look at it and we'll think the referee right.
Here you go, Connor.
Well, he's slightly off camera. You see well, maybe there was a little hand in there to help, the helping hand.
Well, the end result is that Quesada has a very kickable chance. He missed the previous one from a little bit further back. He had the distance then, just needs to get the accuracy.
Kiss of death, he's not going to miss this.
You've called it. Quesada's got to kick it. Argentina 24, France 22, but not for long. Because Quesada is on form, Argentina extend their lead to 5 points.
Well, I feel I have to redress the balance. I called it wrong against the ref. Said it was a terrible decision. It was actually a good decision. There was handling at the ruck, the helping hand of the blue team, and a good kick by Quesada there to give them a 5-point lead.
Michalak makes sure. And Argentina have a little bit of a spring in their step now. Elorga looking to run. This is better. Lovely offload as well. Rougerie to Joision.
Lift the ball, leave it.
Galtier, Michalak, little chip. Elorga's after it. Albanese was covering it.
Well, that's the first time we've seen the real Pepito Elorga at fullback there. a real finder, a star of Agen Rugby, and we've been waiting for him to do something. Here he takes the ball, takes off, and well, he's been called a new Serge Blanco. When he runs like that, you see that's the first time.
He certainly looks more comfortable with ball in hand than kicking for touch. But now the Pumas have to do the grunt up front. Difficult one for Fernandez Miranda through the toilet roll. So Yannick Brou of Toulouse to throw in. Argentina managed to stop that drive. Gaultier, so effective around the fringes, but that door was slammed in his face. De Villiers flips it back to Michalak, could yet work. Direct as ever from Leby. Try again. France are beginning to motor now. De Villiers pops it off. Chabat. Gaultier looking for a runner. Leby as ever. Drop to Harry Nordicki. Turnover. Penalty, France, illegal.
Penalty for offside again. France in behind. I think Gaultier is pulling that. Miranda was taken out. And looked like he was knocked out. But again, every time there seems to be a little bit of momentum for France, they stray offside. There's the big hit going in on the small man, and he comes off the worst for wears. When you're going to go that high, you're going to get hurt. Gaultier spots the gap, makes the break, and we just can't say enough about this man Leby, who is on hand every time they need something to be done, and very close to a try. Harry Nordicki takes it up, just knocked on by De Villiers. Offside before that's taken back. Presume they'll kick this.
Argentina 27, France 22. Fernandez Miranda with the magic water. Michalak will hope he has the magic boot. Second time the ball has hit the woodwork, and Argentina had to be aware there. Balls off the woodwork can often cause trouble for the defending side.
They can, and it's interesting in the sense that Miranda has been clearing that ball up, and he's taken a knock, and he's taken a knock again, so it was left to Alvarez, I think, to try and clear it up. So you'd have a structure set around your clearance of the post, and that was taken away from Argentina, and they had no one to take this ball off. Hence, it's going to be a 5-yard scrum to the French in a great position. Here it is, just they have a player down, and Alvarez doing a job he's not used to.
Well, France have squandered 3 points, but they could yet manage to eke themselves out a few more. Fernandez Miranda, who has made a good fist of it in the last 2 tests, does not want to leave the pitch.
Probably doesn't know he's on the pitch at the moment.
Good counter drive from Argentina, but this is excellent from France. Elorga under the posts. What a response.
He ain't going to get a more simple try than that. A great shove, first of all, by Argentina. Seemed to really be disrupting the French scrum. Taken away quickly from the base. Gaultier goes wide, and a simple run in there for Elorga. Will not score an easier try than that. Easy conversion to come. France to take the lead again.
The scores are level, but not for long. If Michalak has anything to do with it. So he missed the 3-pointer. And for France, it's now ended up in 7 points. Argentina 27, France 29.
Retreating scrum, maybe Argentina price for actually putting too much emphasis on disrupting the French scrum. Their back row stay down, beautifully cleared up by Rugby at the back. Galtier draws Quesada, and an easy run in. You do not score an easier try in international rugby than that for El Orga.
Rougerie has a free catch. His forwards protect him. Lorga, the try scorer, hit that one out of the middle.
Now suddenly he wants to start doing things. One run from deep, a try. Suddenly he wants the ball, and he's actually taking the kicking over from Michalak and try. It's funny what confidence does.
He's now a lot more sparky. So still 2 points in it. 1 penalty the difference. Phelan takes for the second time. Over the back. Fernandez Miranda to Quesada, hoists that one high. Argentina steam down on this one. Ilorga takes that beautifully. Confidence.
Was a magnificent take by the fullback. Under as much pressure as you could possibly be. Now he's as cool as a cucumber. Probably put this out and touch past halfway.
One international fullback appreciating another. Fine strike, good prediction.
Well, you can see it here. Bit scrappy ball and a massive bomb going up there. The Argentinian going, beautiful take.
He's a totally different player to the first half, isn't he?
Well, it's incredible. Now you see what they're all going about Abidjan in France.
Mopped up by Roberto Grau. Fernandez Miranda with the box kick. Albanese is bearing down on his bigger opposite number, but he does manage to cut Rougerie to the floor. Michalak.
I'd love to get inside the mind of the line-out statistician. France have actually managed to win 13 line-outs out of 12. I know they probably do it differently.
We'll see the positive side. At the moment, France with the 2-point lead, and Rougerie working his way in field, fancying a run up to the 10-metre line. Galtier, Michalak, dancing feet to Harry Nordicke over the gain line. And now maybe the gaps are opening up as France try to work their way down territory. Albanese though, he's a mazy runner. He loves to try and find the gaps himself. Little back flick. Forward pass.
Yeah, miles forward, but Argentina, they have to try and force the game. Well, not too quickly. They can still step back because one penalty is all that's in it. So they can start playing the percentages. So they can't go away from their game plan at this stage. Stick to it. First Albanese goes for it. Then if they don't make the breaks, they step back into the pocket, kick the corners. There's a lot of injury time left in this as well.
Just 2 points the difference. 5 minutes of normal time left. There you go, perfection again.
Perfection again, but not a lot of scrummaging in this game, which is quite unusual. More lineouts than there's been scrums, so easy for the statistician in this one.
It's always easy for a positive statistician in Argentina. Both sides want the perfect result. Both sides desperate for a win. Every decision, every phase crucial now. Rugby, Galtier, he's found some space. Rougerie brushes off the first tackler. France want quick ball. Argentina are all over it. And they have the turnover crucially. Quesada to relieve the pressure. And it could yet work for Argentina as Haranordaki gives them another 10 metres or so.
Well, he just lost the run of himself there completely, trying to bat the ball back like that, no control over it whatsoever. A great attacking position again of the scrum that Argentina got the shove on, but seemingly France seemed to nearly want to do that, let them suck in that, go down the short sides, and they're beating them down the short side, but they couldn't retain the ball, and now they find themselves, Argentina, great position.
It's a seesaw match. Turnover ball, so crucial. 2 points the difference. Argentina 27, France 29. 36 and a half minutes gone in this second half.
Well, I fancy them to be setting up here for a drop goal. Maybe set a target in the middle or try a rolling ball in towards the middle of the pitch and set it up for Quesada.
Jean-Baptiste Rouet has come on. Roberto Grau has been busy mopping up the lineouts. Quesada. The runner met a brick wall. Quesada back in the pocket, looking for the crossfield kick. Mendes is underneath it, taps it back. Could have gone anywhere. It went to Jean-Baptiste Rouet. Galtier to Elorga. What can Argentina conjure? Midfield position on the halfway line, and it's a penalty. This is kickable. This would give Argentina the lead.
Well, it's given against Haranordaki, who makes the tackle for not rolling away and not allowing the new fullback to present the ball. And here we've got it, third time that we've seen Quesada with the penalty from around this range in front of the post. He's 1 from 2. Stortoni takes the ball up. I think it's Haranordaki makes the tackle along with Sylvain Marconnet, but you see where Haranordaki just lies there, makes no effort. Stortoni can't place that ball away. It's a fair penalty.
Hasn't even taken his arms away from the tackled player's legs, and it gives Quesada, well, we've seen it already, it's a gilt-edged chance.
Well, I mean, he's had two little practices from this. He's got one. I'd fancy him. He's got the range, and he's a beautiful kicker, especially under pressure. I fancy him to nail this one again.
He will fancy it as well. The crowd goes silent. Respectful for Gonzalo Quesada as he tries to take Argentina into the lead. Never in doubt. Wonderful kicking. The crowd go bananas.
Tell you, Will, they may not be the most exciting matches or the highest quality matches in the world, but they sure are exciting and nail-biting towards the end, and this is going to be another big one.
1 point the difference. Argentina 30, France 29. Little knock on.
Well, a great effort there by Haranordaki to try and reclaim Michalak's kick-off, and as he tried to tap it back, it just goes slightly forward into Marconet's path. A fair decision, but a great effort by Haranordaki.
Both sides will need to stay cool in the heat of the furnace. Every decision will be vital. Galtier trying to mess up that scrum ball. It's a penalty.
For the life of me, I cannot understand what Contemponi did standing in beside the scrum to take that ball. The Argentinian scrum has been good. Miranda should have just stood at the base, protected the ball by Longo, and then just given it back to Quesada to boot the ball. They tried to do something, you know, a little bit different. And at a time like that, when you've got the strong scrum, you don't do that. And these are the things you live and learn, but you'll straight away give them the lead away.
We heard a respectful silence for Quesada. Not this time. Michalak. He's got the distance. He's bang on target. He doesn't mind the heckles France 32, Argentina 30.
Yeah, he's well used to the heckles. They don't keep that quiet down in France, especially in Stade Toulousain. So he's well used to that. Probably doesn't know is it with him or against him.
Into injury time, Argentina will be desperate to get a penalty anywhere in the French half. Quesada, no doubt, will strike for posts. First of all, the restart. Good hanging kick, and it's fallen Scalzo's way. Argentina through Rolando Martin. They'll be keen to work their way into a position where maybe Quesada can take a drop for goal. He is here. Nowhere close. Ilorga can relieve the pressure. He had so much time and he doesn't.
No, he doesn't, and this is much better. Argentina going for the drop goal too early there. Now they've got the opportunity. Line it inside the 10-metre line, either drive or set a target, and they'll set up for another drop goal.
Mendes looking to the tail. Rolando Martin does pick it up, pretty much in front of the posts. Quesada, Felipe Contepomi, not brought down first time. Quesada again, just outside the 22. Good take from Scalzo. Albanese on his own. The ball comes back Argentina's way. Could be a scintillating finish to a very, very tight match. The crowd are right behind the Pumas. Quesada has time. The crowd like it. The referee likes it. Quesada loves it. And there is the final whistle. Argentina have won in the last kick of the match.
Well, I thought they'd taken it too many. I thought they'd taken too many phases there. Brought it through and then steps back into the pocket. A beautiful drop goal. Not a classic game, but what a classic finish.
Argentina show they have the temperament and the class to eke out that victory in the end. It was nip and tuck.
Well, Argentina made 8 changes, came back and they won their second match 2-0, whitewashing the French, and they're well set for this World Cup, and they roll on South Africa.
Well, we've been witness to history being made today. For the first time in over 50 years of these two teams battling out, the Pumas have achieved a series win. They go to South Africa with confidence. France have many questions hanging over them, but they better find the answers quickly. It's New Zealand in 7 days' time. Final score in the Vélez Sarsfield: Argentina 33, France 32.
Wonderful scenes there in Buenos Aires. Just 1 point in it. There was 1 point in it last year. So that is 3 victories now over the French. 1 last year and 2 within a week. Chris, this was it.
Well, I mean, this is a fantastic setup. I mean, they've won the ball, they've taken it through phases, and they've been patient about it and waited for the moment to be able to take it. I disagree with Connor. I don't think it was taken through one too many phases. Simple fact that where Albanese made the little break down the blind side, that would have been a tough drop goal to make from that wider out. It had to be drawn in, go a couple of phases. Even if it made it 5 yards inwards towards the goal, it made the drop goal for Quesada much easier. And it's a great victory for Argentina.
Do they deserve it?
I'm afraid to say I don't think they do deserve it. I think the way they played in the first half and scoring the 2 tries, that is the positive side of Argentinian rugby. I think it's fantastic. I think they start to strike well. As Connor said, there is definitely depth in the